Hello, Graslow here, and welcome to episode 3 of The Secret Turnabout, where we finally get to the trial.
When we left off, we finished up the investigation, the first investigation, and got to talk to our rather eccentric client, who also happens to be a judge, believes in the supernatural.
Which, you know,
And,
considering what he said, for honestly quite valid reason.
Yeah, and we found out in game bit maybe playing something, but we don't know exactly quite yet. But yeah.
It's time for trial. That's what's important, I guess.
Yep. That's important.
I don't think I've ever been this stressed about a trial since, not since I first defended Mr. Wright in court. The fact that there's so much riding on today's trial really doesn't put me at ease. I just hope my client is less stressed than I am right now. Well, so much for that.
Please don't look. I'm killing. I forgot how to read. I don't want to go to jail because I seem too suspicious.
Well, I suppose you could stand to look less like a kid with his hand in his cookie jar.
I know it.
It'd make me look calm by comparison. Just take deep breaths, Judge Airy. If you want, I have a bit of a trick to staying calm.
A trick?
Anytime you're nervous, just shout a simple phrase. I'm Hercules Eerie and I'm fine! Can you do that for me?
I guess I could try. I'm Hercules Eerie and I'm fine.
Why do you sound like you smoke 3 packs a day when you say that?
I'm trying to quit, okay? I'm trying my best. I think they actually worked.
Ha! Cords of Steel win again!
Actually, now that I'm feeling better, I just remember something.
What? What is it?
I have an idea how we can get me off the hook. The spirit mediums are real, right? We can just call a spirit medium to stand and have them summon the victim spirit.
It's not that easy.
Well, what's the matter?
Well, first of all, we don't even know if the presiding judge believes in spirits. Plus, I doubt there's enough time before court starts to get a spirit medium ready.
Oh, there's excuses for you.
Sorry, sir, I just think we'll have to do this the old-fashioned way.
Here it was pretty easy. Oh god, that hurts my throat so bad.
You and me both. Say, Judge Eerie, you haven't seen Mr. Wright around, have you?
Not that I can recall. Why?
Oh my god, he's Batman, I just noticed. Justice for Gotham! I'm just hoping I can ask him a bit more about what I can expect from this trial. Specifically about the new changes made to the juris system.
It's a real shame we haven't seen him.
Where are you, Mr. Wright?
Where have you gone to? Where did you go? Where did you come from, Cotton Eye Joe?
Oh my god.
Oh no, you don't think that... The ghost got to him first, did you?
Judge Eerie, we've been over this already. There are no such things as ghosts, and there certainly aren't any haunting the courthouse. Or that's fucking Phoenix.
Are you sure about that, Apollo? the ghost?
Oh, great.
Oh! Never change, Jerry.
I'd really appreciate it if you went out of your way to make my client fate, Mr. Wright.
I make no promises.
Of course not.
So I understand that you want to talk to me?
Have you been eavesdropping on our conversation the entire time? Mr. Wright.
So you want to know more about the new secure system works, huh?
That would help a bit.
Well, can't go over everything because my time is limited.
Time is money, and I have no money.
I'll be expected to be in the jury room fairly shortly to lead the proceedings.
Can you at least give me the basics?
Well, as you stated, jurors can now share the thoughts with the court. Oh god. My
It's
throat.
me, Phoenix Wright, the Batman.
They say it's just based off some of the juries a long time past.
Long before time had a name.
However, back in those days, jurors could just interrupt trials at their leisure. As you can imagine, it got pretty chaotic. It's chaotic.
Oh my god.
Deep cut reference. See, so how did you fix that problem? It's actually pretty simple. Now, juries are only allowed to give their just thoughts when they're specifically asked for it. That way, it isn't just turned to pure chaos every 5 seconds.
So I can poll the jury during cross-examinations.
Of course, you need to know what the juror's expertise are. So, take the liberty of compiling some basic information about the jurors. Nothing personal, mind you, just enough so you can know what they're like.
Thanks, I'll read it through when I can.
Oh, just one last thing.
Huh? What?
If you reach a point where you're stuck and can't move forward, that will be that. The trial will have to move to an immediate verdict.
I mean, if I can't keep the trial going until I've reached the truth, it's all over?
Not necessarily.
What do you mean?
As I said, I don't have time to explain everything now. But you'll see if it comes up.
How many secrets are you gonna keep from me, Mr. Wright?
Also, I'd avoid using your special power if you could. Could have been giving interviewing the jurors a bad push if you rely on tells instead of evidence.
So no talent spotting. Got it.
Anywho, I better get going. Good luck, Paul. You're gonna need it.
What happens in there next is on how well I can get the jurors to see my side. This Eerie isn't a murderer. I know he isn't. I have to make them see it. Although I don't expect the chief prosecutor will go easy on me in there. I have no idea how this trial is going to turn out. Only a growing sense of unease about what's around the corner. Oh boy. We're 1 minute late. How dare you, Apollo? Oh boy.
Where's that session? Trial of Herculeary, eh?
Oh wait, you should take Edward since I'm defense.
Alright. The prosecution is ready, Your Honor.
The defense is ready, Your Honor. But this is a legendary Miles Edgeworth. He certainly does give off an aura of sternness and intimidation. Misjudge. Must be the brother I heard His Honor talk about yesterday. I definitely see the resemblance between the two, that's for sure. Yet, Edgeworth is a fair bit stricter than his brother. This should certainly prove to be an interesting trial.
As I'm sure you all know, today's proceedings are to be held in a closed trial. There's some of you who may be wondering what the reasons for this decision are. However, I can assure you that there is a good reason, eh? But the defendant being a member of the judiciary wished to minimize the risk, eh? Of any outside actors when with unscrupulous citizens have a part to his trial, eh?
Oh my
Today's
god.
proceedings have two specific goals, eh? Okay, I didn't know that. Our first goal is to find the truth behind the murder of Gory Eruption. And our second goal is to hold one final test for the new jury system, before it can officially be implemented statewide.
This is good. Oh my god, it's so blurry.
Now, enough mistaken, that the jury's watching this trial vote the correct.
That's correct, Your Honor. Oh wait, that's you.
That's correct, Your Honor. The jurors can hear you loud and clear, right, guys? I'm ready to my duties for. Oh, we haven't checked their profiles yet.
Oh, are they in the profile? I didn't know. I thought it was gonna be like a report in our evidence.
So we got juror 1.
Worry about the safety of children. Clinical journal. We've seen multiple trials. I'll easily and quick to judge the insults. Famous actor for fitness buff wants to hide his face for some reason. Courthouse clerk, mega fangirl of Aiden Gambit. Oh boy. Oh my lord. We have certainly the eccentric duos.
I'm ready to do my duties for the children, Your Honor.
Yeah, I'm here.
Yeah.
I'll take you. Take
Oh,
on.
you're
I'll take even.
Alright.
Yeah, I'm here. Don't get too excited.
Juror 3 here, sir.
Juror 4 ready. Oh, only if we had Aiden right here. What the fuck? Is it that loser with the weird hair? Hey!
Juror 5 party. I'm ready to solve the mystery.
The 6th juror, which would be me, is also ready.
Very well. Before we move on to opening statements, I would like to address the jury. First and foremost, I must thank each of you in advance for your time. It is great responsibility that has been thrust upon you today. Despite not being members of the judiciary, you have been allowed to view this close trial. Decide the fate of one of our own. As members of the public, you should have already signed the non-disclosure agreement. Meaning you'll not be allowed to talk about this trial to anyone not involved in the proceeding. And breach of this agreement is a prosecutable offense. While you're doing our court a great favor, be advised this is not to take lightly. Hear my words of wisdom, kind jurors. Judge rightly, judge well. Nothing. That is all I have to say. Prosecution may now give its opening statement. Alright, so why you wanna?
Here it comes, Apollo. Get ready. Let's see if Mount Sedgworth really is as good as they say. You're doubting it, Apollo? Oh boy.
On January 16th, the coroner was planned to make an appearance in court. The man we was fit to defend.
Not 11!
11 typos! Oh my god, the new record. The defendant had been accused of embezzlement a few days prior.
Embezzlement trial? Is that the one Judge Erie presided over?
Details of this trial are not entirely important to the matter at hand. What is important are two specific factors. Firstly, that the defendant, Hercule Leary, was the presiding judge. Secondly, that the victim, Corey Rupture, did not show up to the trial.
Just one question, Mr. Edgeworth. If the victim did not show up to the embezzlement trial that day, isn't it possible that he was already dead by that time?
Oh, if only for that if only it were as simple as that for your case, Mr. Justice.
What do you mean?
I asked the court to take a look at Corey Rupture's autopsy report. It states that the victim was killed at some time between 12:30 and 12:50 p.m.
Thunder doesn't. Oh. Wrong judge.
That is, Mr. Edwards. I see the receptive bet is that contradicts the defense's claims. Indeed there is, Your Honor.
Time of death.
Judge Erie convened the embezzlement trial at 12:15 p.m.
What? Bruh.
They waited 10 minutes for the victim to show up before the verdict was declared. 10 more minutes. I must say, Judge Erie is far more forgiving about that than I would be. I would have adjourned the trial the moment I saw the catcher did not show up.
Note to self, don't be late for a trial. Ever.
What's important is the time, Your Honor. Call of the trial started at 12:15 p.m. This means the trial was adjourned. at 12:25 p.m.
12:25. Wait, that's...
A good 5 minutes before the time listed in the autopsy report. And keep in mind, this is merely the earliest possible point at which Corruption died. In short, it is impossible for Corruption to have been killed while the trial was in session.
Damn it! Here's my main argument.
Prosecution's beliefs are as follows. At some point between 12:25 and 12:50, the defendant met with the victim that day. And then come to his chambers to discuss why he did not show up to the trial. At some point, the discussion became heated between the two men. The altercation did not take long to turn to violence. Caught in the heat of the moment, the defendant ended up killing Corruption. This is what the prosecution aims to prove in the course of this trial. I see, the prosecution's case is resoundingly clear. The city includes robust to make.
The case is already off to a bad start. Give me cool, Justice. I just have to stick to my guns. Your Honor, the defense claims a third party is responsible for this crime. We intend to prove the existence of this third party and how it eluded us.
Just what I'd expect from this apprentice. I do look forward to seeing what you've been taught about justice. I hope that you don't disappoint me.
I won't. Bold claim, Apollo, jeez. No, you need to put pressure on me, God.
Very well then, Mr. Edwards, be God's first witness to stand. Certainly, Your Honor.
Who is the first witness? Emma, right. Yeah.
Witness, please state your name and occupation. This guy, detective. And one of these days, a forensic investigator.
Let's not get ahead of ourselves, Emma. We're not there yet.
Your wisdom is appreciated, Miss Guy. However, I would prefer if you would stick to the relevant information for today. Oh, yes, sir. Rest assured, though, however, that if your testimony is satisfactory today, I will be happy to put in a word to the Chief of Police regarding a change position. Yes, sir! Thank you, Mr. Edgeworth.
I don't think I've ever seen Emma's face light up so fast.
Now then, Detective Sky, you were in charge of the investigation, correct? That's right, sir. Would you mind sharing the results of the investigation to the court? Right away, Mr. Edgeworth.
Emma can barely hold herself together. But she's been told she won the lottery. I mean, she sorta has.
Pretty evidence in this case paints a pretty clear picture of what happened. Bruising on the victim shows that two of them got in a scuffle. It was one-sided at best. At some point in the altercation, the fitted east rope tied like a noose on it fitted. Marks on the neck prove that the killer tried to strangle the victim.
Emma, girl, you can't be fumbling this early.
Victim was shaken to the neighboring chamber. Its framing as the apparent crab say, "Shut up, sit for the cross-examination Apollo. Shut up, shut up!" Good honk. For some reason, the defendant screamed loudly, attracting the attention of courtroom 3. Those in the courtroom rushed to find the defendant standing over the victim's body. I see. The case presented by identified is very solid indeed. This guy has made it clear there was only one logical conclusion to draw. The only one who could have killed the victim is the defendant, who killed Avery. Yep, that doesn't be what the evidence is pointing towards. Really is lucky that my brother had an alibi at the time of the murder. I would hate to have seen him in the defendant's chair. In any case, the defense may begin the cross-examination.
I did know something odd about Emma's testimony. Something in her testimony just doesn't line up with the evidence. But if I notice it, I'm willing to bet I would notice it too. I feel like pointing it out would be walking right into a trap. I don't really see any other way around it. Yeah. Emma, how dare you have how dare you, the forensic gal, have a contradiction?
Objection!
It's post-mortem, idiot. Hold on 1 second, Miss Sky.
Defense, please refrain from insulting the witness. Thank you.
Oh shit, you heard that?
Yes.
You're sure the killer was strangling the victim?
Yep, I'm pretty sure that's what the killer wanted you to do.
Well, Emma. Nuh-uh. What do you mean, nuh-uh?
Get snacked, you motherfucker.
Ow!
Even says in the autopsy report that there were signs of strangulation.
Yes, that is what the autopsy report states. The problem I have is that this is not how the victim actually died.
Is it?
Take a look at the autopsy report again, Your Honor. It states that the victim died of a broken neck.
Well, that would be normal, right? That's how people die when they are hung. Murder was a noose.
That's just it, Your Honor. Questions didn't claim what the victim was hung. They claim that he was strangled.
You mean?
Evidence has pointed to a victim being manually strangled, which is the victim having actually been hung, execution style.
Order. This is a really big thing for the prosecution to overlook. Though I must admit, I'm not entirely sure what the implications of this mean.
It's actually very simple, Your Honor. The prosecution claims, as I understand them, as are follows. That was not a sentence. We're gonna move on. The defendant and the victim got into a fight in the defendant's chambers. Wait, no. In the judge's chambers. Then, during their trial, the victim tied the noose around the victim's neck, and then proceeded to strangle him to death.
Yes, this isn't what the prosecution is claiming.
We now know that the victim was hung, not manually strangled. This all changes everything.
Oh, so much justice.
Just think about it, Your Honor. The defendant really had the chance to set up a way to hang the victim while he and the victim were still in the middle of their struggle?
That'd be quite possible, I'd say.
I'm just waiting for the Edgeworth objection.
Actually, was a strong man, but even that was quite a difficult task for him.
There you have it, Your Honor. It doesn't exist. There's no way the prosecution's theory is possible.
You were quite right, Justice. Mr. Edgeworth, what is your response to this?
Oh boy.
The prosecution sees no contradiction in the detective's testimony.
What?
Paulo, you really have to pay attention to what people are actually saying. I said that the defendant tried to strangle the victim. The key word being tried.
Oh, I knew it. I knew I was walking into a trap.
Let me ask you, why do you think the hung people? Why do you think the hung people die from broken necks?
Why? Well, I think it's because the amount of forces put on the neck all of a sudden. Ah! No way!
I see that you finally realized it. The true point of that is to explain the discrepancy. First one is one I'm sure you're noted aware of, different size and strength. It goes without saying that Hercule Airy is a rather large man. His strength is easily big enough to put that kind of force into the victim's neck. And the second factor is that the defendant and the victim were in the middle of a struggle. A rather one-sided struggle at that. They see, so the defendant straight about the victim's struggles. Bingo. We were to assume that the victim made sudden jerky movements to try and escape. Combined with the fact that he was still dazed from the fight itself. Well, let's just say it ended well for him. Well, the Hercule Airy's attempts to strike the victim to death. Try and kill the victim, all merely incapacitated. Dr. managed that the victim was struggling with him as the noose was turned around his neck. At that moment, the choreographer's fate was sealed. The victim challenging the defendant's strength, while the noose was around his neck. Resulted in his neck suddenly being broken, ending his life instantly.
No!
Pwned. Order! I demand order! Seems Mr. Justice that the prosecution's claims are reasonable after all. Unfortunately, I cannot let your petition stand.
No! They had something there! But Edgeworth already had a way to counter it. Put yourself together, Apollo. You just give up now? Now what's the only chance you have? Hold on just 1 second, Mr. Edgeworth. You have yet to prove that my client is even capable of such a feat. Well, he might not be as strong as you think he is.
Even you must admit that such an argument is just pointless banter, Mr. Eustace.
He's not wrong. We need to think an excuse to keep this trial going.
He keeps switching voices. However, the defense is so keen on arguing this point. Prosecution can call a witness to put this matter to bed once and for all.
A witness? That can't be good.
Detective Sky, you may now leave the stand. You can expect that recommendation to the chief of police after this. Yes, thank you, Mr. Edgeworth. I promise you, I won't waste this opportunity.
And there she goes. Just hoping for the best, Emma.
And Mr. Edgeworth, who is this witness of yours? There's only one man capable of putting to rest the question at hand.
Himself?
Only one man who can truly confirm that the defendant is truly strong enough to do this deed.
Himself?
That man is, of course, Hercule Airy himself.
You can't do that without my permission.
The defendant is your witness. Order. Everyone calm down.
Or just imagine you're going to call him to the stand. It's like, so, witness, how much can you bench?
Mr. Edris, I cannot say I'm too sure about this. Your other defendant has no obligation to testify against himself. That is true, Your Honor. However, he is the only man capable of telling us what really happened that day. The court has an obligation to hear his side of the story, if he is willing to give it.
I don't like where Edward is going with this. If we can use my client's own words against him to prove his case.
Choice yours, Cancel.
Don't make me choose.
Well, you hear out Hercules' testimony.
I need to think about this long and carefully. I'll let my client take the stand. I don't want to. Fuck it.
Fitzgerald said, yeah.
The client has a right to refuse to
client has a right-
testify. We can't refuse him that right now. We can't refuse him that right now.
I see. In that case, Mr. Justice, I would like to make a proposal.
What kind of proposal?
The defendant Hercules has the right to refuse to testify. If the prosecution would still like to call him to the stand, should he refuse to testify even then, I will concede to your point, Mr. Justice. Prosecution will accept that there is no proof that the defendant is actually strong enough to have committed the crime as described here today.
Unbelievable. He's willing to go that far? The deal he's trying to make with me could heavily damage his case. Is the desire for the truth really that strong?
Will the defense accept these terms?
I just can't say no. Elizabeth wants the truth as badly as I do. He has to do more his pursuit like that. The defense accepts this proposal.
My sincerest gratitude, Mr. Justice. Very well. This court recognizes the deal made between the defense and the prosecution. Let the defendant Hercules take the stand.
If Judge Erie refuses to testify, this could be enough to win me the case. But if he does testify, he gives new information that can turn things around. Turn things around.
Will the defendant please state his name and occupation for the record? Hercules, presiding judge of courtroom number 1. Do you understand the situation, right, Judge Erie? The court will not look down on you for refusing to testify. It is yours. The man was killed in my good friend's chambers, right? I only represent the victim in court. I do not personally know him. However, I do know this. He does deserve to die. My testimony controlling it to the bottom of what happened. I will testify. Besides, I'm covered to my lawyer's abilities.
Stop it, you. You're flattering me. Oh, Judge Erie, you gave up the easy win for the pursuit of the truth. I can only hope it's worth it.
Very well then, Judge Erie. Let us hear your side of the story. Please explain to us what happened that day, from your point of view. Very well. Defendant's account. On the day of the murder, I was in my chambers, busy filing some paperwork. The trial ended early. I was looking forward to having some extra free time to get work done. Suddenly a loud thump came from the neighboring judge's chambers. Quickly to my feet, I made my way to the bookcase passage, stepping through. That's when I saw the victim on the floor, dead, and I screamed for help. I see. Thank you for your testimony, Judge Geary. Though I am curious to ask how the station bears. Prosecution still poses the claim that the defendant has enough strength. But the defendant's neck during the struggle. So, within the cross-examination, I believe the truth will come to light.
Yeah, so somewhere there has to be some indication that the defendant's actually strong. I hope the answer will help guide us to the real truth.
You realize, of course, the cross-examination reveals that the defendant is not actually as strong as the prosecution claims he is. This could be the end of your case, understood? I am willing to accept the risk, Your Honor.
Case against Judge Geary still holds water, and unless I can prove my point anyways. Judge and I are both not taking risk on this testimony. I only hope that what I find won't further damage my case. Oh boy. Alright. Oh.
Press the witness opponent.
What was the statement again? And then they're the most basically it's paperwork. Just fuck it. Let's see what it does.
Hold it!
Oh no, I would like to hear what the jury thinks about this statement. Oh, that's okay, so that's what they want to know about the statement. I see. So,
Very well. Schnitzel, if you would, please.
sure thing.
Sure thing, Your Honor. What do you guys think?
Well, that settles it, doesn't it? He's at the crime scene at the time of the murder. Who else could it be? Well, hang on a bit. Seems to be more to the story, I think. Don't tell me you believe the defendant was actually doing paperwork at the time. Had to be meeting with the victim. You're not seriously going to take his word for it, are you? Yeah, it is strange juror 4 would buy his paperwork explanation with no proof. What's juror number 4? No, juror 4 makes sense. Juror 4! You seem to be willing to accept the idea that the defendant really was doing paperwork at the time. Well, I have a good reason to believe him. Reading the information about you in the court record, seems as though you work here at the courthouse. Would that have something to do with the reason you trust the defendant? Actually, yes, that is the reason. I've read through some of the Judge Geary's reports before. The handwriting can be a bit scraggly, but he's usually good at getting them in on time.
Sorry about the handwriting. Why you do refer there's too much paperwork to be done?
In any case, Judge Geary doing paperwork after the trial does sound like a reasonable excuse. In which case, he didn't have time to meet up with the victim. Poppycock! How did the victim get into the crime scene?
Juror 2 is quite right. Mr. Rapture would have had to have entered the crime scene through the bookcase passage. There's no way he could have done that without attracting the defendant's attention.
Well, maybe he really did find a way to go through the front door. That'd be the most logical assumption.
Overruled. Unfortunately, that's a possibility. It's standard protocol for judges to lock their chambers when they're not using them. I don't think Archie would have forget about this when he went to trial. Indeed, I can assure you that the door was still locked when we arrived at the scene. The fact is that I fumbled with his keys for a bit to get the door open. It does sound like my brother. My apologies, I'm just a little tired of it. There was so much haste in the room through the front door. The only way to enter the room was through the other Indeed, I usually wouldn't make a mistake by like freaking locked door. Also, it's prosecution, okay? Especially
No,
because,
I'm
like
not.
me, he really doesn't have an excuse. So, do we really do have a locked room mystery on our hands? How exciting!
Well, you can hardly call it a mystery when the answer has already been given to you, huh? The one with access to the crime scene was the defendant. That's all she wrote. Oh my lord. I wonder if that's really true. Wait, oh wait, what did he say? Oh. Can't help but feel like somebody said something just now that bugged me. No, I do. Wait, raise an objection?
Presentation. Why not?
Yeti! Tajiri!
Huh? What are you staring at me like that?
I can't help but feel like something you just said just now was very odd.
Dude, why you would make a mistake like forgetting to lock the door? Especially because, like me, he doesn't really have an excuse.
Unlike me, he doesn't really have an excuse. What exactly is this excuse you're talking about?
Well, it's a bit embarrassing, really. So what happened a week ago, you see. I was trying to get into my chambers and my key was being finicky. Well, she struggled with the door and I was forbidden. Well, I sort of ended up ripping the door open by accident.
God damn it. We just proved at this point. You what?
Yeah, it really don't know about the lock too. I really don't know my own strength sometimes, and they haven't.
God.
I still have yet to get the lock replaced.
Well, that's true then.
Well, I believe this puts one question to rest at least.
Oh.
The defense doubted earlier that the defendant was strong enough. I've been able to snap the victim's neck by strangling him with a rope. However, the testimony we just heard, the defendant does indeed have that strength.
Yeah, we get it.
In other words, prosecution theory is not out of the realm of possibility.
Yeah.
Order.
If I fell right into that one, I think I'm going to turn this around quick. I may have learned new information, but so did I. For the past week, the lock on the door to the defendant's chambers has been broken. I wonder if there's any way I can use this new info.
In any case, this prosecution part is thoroughly proven. I suggest you test as much examination. Okay.
I'll just press. Just to reiterate, the trial was over with so quickly because the victim was the defense assigned to the case, and he never showed up to the trial. What exactly was going on in your thoughts when this happened?
Well, I was absolutely not very pleased, Mr. Representative, sir. Your just representing person in court is a tremendous duty. Such as taking a risk of putting the life in your hand is quite an important responsibility. So I just simply you go back out if you please.
Indeed.
Indeed, your anger is quite understandable, Tajiri. To share with the possibilities of management is acceptable.
Of course, it's exactly what Mr. Rupture did.
In the body, however, my attitude changed. Suddenly, everything that happened that day started to make sense. I realized that there had to be a reason why he never showed up to court.
Objection!
Have you already forgotten, Tajiri? There's already been evidence presented to the court that disproves what you're saying.
Right, the autopsy
Right.
report.
Oh. Precisely. The autopsy report states the victim died at least 5 minutes at the end of the trial.
12 typos. Terrible.
In other words, the reason the victim didn't show up is not because he was dead. I don't know anything about his real reason for abandoning his client. All I know is what was going through my mind at the time. If I turned out to be wrong, then he better have had a damn good reason for what he did.
Mr. Rupture's reason for not appearing in court that day. It's not because of his death, and I have no idea what the real reason was. Still, can't shake the feeling there's something more to this story. Did Corey Rupture really abandon his client on the day of the murder? Or was there something else that caused it?
Hey, event, let's return our testimony. What happened while you were in your office, Jiri? Something about thunk when they were just shivers.
Hold it!
A loud thump? What exactly was this thump you heard?
I don't know. This is as good as mine. Maybe it was aliens, or ghosts, or zombies.
It was an alien, Scoob! Yep, I was waiting for that one.
It's not the courthouse, is it? What if it comes this way? I don't want to be eaten by zombies, Mr. Justice.
You're not gonna be eaten by zombies! Judge Harry, please calm down. But if it is you heard, I'm sure there's a perfectly logical explanation for it. And what that explanation is, I'm not quite sure. 13!
I think I ever even noticed that this case had so many typos. Jude Erie, I am well aware of your beliefs. However, I must agree with the defense's saying. Sign you could have been caused by any number of things. Perhaps even one's own mind.
Objection.
Surprised that I'm going crazy that you can forget. I know what I heard. That day was real. It's merely suggestion, of course. At this rate, a very likely suggestion. I know what I heard. I'm not going to see the old. Tell him, Mr. Justice. Tell him what I heard that day.
I don't know the answer to that one either!
It seems we're right back where we started. We are still none the wiser about what the sound the friend I heard that day was.
Well, to know what a complete waste of time this was. So I don't think I'll be able to get my client off the hook until I know what he heard. Which at this rate could just turn out to be the mouse knocked over a book.
In case, just to return to the matter at hand. Judge Erie, what did you do after you heard the loud thud from the crime scene? Look at message. Yeah, baby.
Have you ever used the passageway before, Judge Erie?
I can't say I've ever really had need of it before. I said I had tested it before once when I first became a judge. But when I was first, I got how it actually works.
Oh, now you got me curious. How exactly does the bookcase passageway work?
Oh well, it's quite simple, Your Justice. There's a button near the top that unlatches the lock. From there, you're free to pull it open.
That's actually very simple.
Indeed. The biggest challenge to use the bookcase passage is simply knowing it's there.
Well, knowing that, just about anyone could have entered the crime scene that day.
Just explain, Mr. Justice.
It's here the following, Your Honor. We still don't know how the killer and victim got inside the crime scene that day. When the defendant entered the room, the victim was already dead. I mean, he had already entered the room by that time!
Unfortunately, I cannot let that claim slide.
Oh, Edgeworth, I should have known an ejection ready.
If I understand correctly, the feds was claiming the following. The victim was already inside the neighboring chambers when the crime was committed. That he entered through the bookcase passageway to do so. Unfortunately, there was a gaping hole in the fence's theory. I assume... Why am I giving the judge Edgeworth's voice? I assume it means that there was no duty.
Judge Edgeworth? First Professor Edgeworth, then Prosecutor Edgeworth, then Judge Edgeworth?
Oh my god. Precisely. Precisely. Recall the events that played out that day. The defendant oversaw trial the day of the murder.
Bada, baba booey.
Yeah, oh god damn it. This trial ended at 12:25 p.m. After which point the defendant returned to his chambers. The earliest point at which the murder occurred was at 12:30 p.m. Otherwise, there was no opportunity to sneak into the neighboring chambers at all.
Well, damn, Edgeworth, you got me there.
The only way the victim could have entered the chambers was if he was brought in by Judge Eden.
Yeah!
Order, order.
Thank you for the line of reasoning. I need to prove that the victim entered through the bookcase passage, but... Wait a minute. That clue I gathered from before. I wonder, would it be useful here? I do. So there is an object. Come on, of course. Hold on just 1 second, Mr. Edgeworth. There seems to be one big thing you've forgotten about.
Wait, I've forgotten.
Yes, your memories. You've been hit on the head with a fire extinguisher.
What? No. No.
In fact, this trial's already run its course, man. I don't know why you're still in the courtroom. What?
Oh, but I suppose I should leave. Just leave then.
I can't believe that worked. Wait a second.
Hey, go, you motherfucker.
There was something said during the cross-examination that'll explain what I mean. Please pay attention to what the defendant said earlier.
It happened a week ago, you see. I was trying to get into my chambers, but the key was being finicky.
And the lock had come off or something like that.
Well, you go then struggled with the doorknob a bit, and... Well, I sort of ended up removing the door open by accident.
Because, you know, it's a normal thing people have happen. You what?
Yeah, they did them on the lock, too. I really didn't know no straight sometimes. I still need to get the lock placed.
So have you got to get the lock replaced. And this one little detail changes everything.
How so, defense?
The prosecution claims that the victim had no opportunity to sneak onto the crime scene. However, we now know that's not true. The perfect opportunity had already presented itself. An opportunity that the defendant himself created.
What? Me?
Yeah. Wait, isn't this not a good thing? Oh boy.
I mean, someone died, so... Order. Your argument increases. Just please continue. I mean, please elaborate.
Of course, Your Honor. Let's consider the facts. A week ago, the defendant broke the lock on his own doors by accident.
Yeah, that was a clumsy of me.
The important part of the implications this creates. The lock is still yet to be replaced. This means anyone could have entered the defendant's chambers on that day.
I think I see where you're going with this, Mr. Justice. There, they could have used the bookcase passage into the grave scene.
Precisely, Your Honor. I believe this is how the victim entered the crime scene that day. On that day, the victim did not show up to court to defend his client. The reason why is because he was already at the crime scene that day. Took it to the defendant's chambers at some point during the trial. And he entered through the bookcase passage to neighboring chambers. In other words, it's entirely plausible for my client to have not met the victim that day.
Supposed to make sense. But, why would you do such a thing? What was he trying to accomplish? The gate to these rooms like that.
Admittedly, I don't know the answer to that either. However, the real question is now about proof.
What do you mean?
If the victim really did enter through the bookcase passage, it's entirely possible he might have left behind some evidence of what he did. Judge Erie, do you recall anything out of the ordinary about the bookcase that day? Was the passage already opened by the time you used it?
I don't remember. Everything that happened after, that is just kind of a blur. I can't actually remember many details about what actually happened next.
There was just some way to jog his memory. Oh, there it is.
Are you quite done?
Huh? I forgot about Edgeworth.
Mr. Edgeworth, do you have a problem with the idea the defense has proposed? Naturally, Your Honor.
Where is he going with this?
Defense claims that the victim entered the defendant's chambers while the trial was still in session that day, and then he used the bookcase passage to enter the crime scene. Probably is, of course, that he lacks a way to prove it.
Well, if the passage was open at the time, then...
Unfortunately, it's just... I can say with confidence that the passage was closed.
You what?
Let me ask you something, Mr. Justice. How closely did you examine the bookcase passage during your investigation?
How closely? Now that I think about it, I didn't really examine it all that much. Sorry, now that I think about it.
Your silence speaks volumes. You weren't actually bothered to look at the bookcase in great detail. You noticed the bookcase has been torn off its hinges.
Oh. What?
An interesting detail. Court records shall be updated with this information immediately.
But what?
What exactly does this prove? Very simply, Your Honor. So one man's case capable of ripping the bookcase off its hinges. One man whose testimony proved he had the strength to do so. He broke the lock on his own door.
You mean?
Naturally, I feared to hear Killery. Now that I ask you, why would he need to rip the hinges off of it if the passage was open?
You wouldn't.
That's correct, Your Honor. No, for a fact. The passage was closed when the defendant used it now. There's no proof that anybody used the passage that day. Except for one person. That person is defendant Killery.
No. No!
Order, what do I say? This doesn't need this problem for the defendant's case.
This is bad. This is really bad. I know I have to be on the right track, but other than making me down my own case. What do I do? Do I try to fight this?
Fight! Fight, damn it!
Fight! Hold on, Mr. Edgeworth. Government tells the people what I theorize isn't true. But I'm still gonna enter through the passageway before the defendant arrived that day.
It's true that this doesn't completely disprove the defendant's theory. However, it does prove that the defendant opened the passage in a hurry. Indeed, otherwise the defendant would have just opened it the normal way. Precisely, Your Honor. There's only one reason why it would be in such a hurry, so...
Oh no. I think I know what that is.
Naturally, he was in a hurry to hide the body. Everything in this case points to the defendant. Everyone who entered the courthouse that day has an airtight alibi. All except for one person. Killery, it could only have been you. No! I believe at long last, the defensive prosecution have no more arguments to make.
I don't believe it. Is this really the end? I'm trying my hardest, but I can't think of anything else to say. Jury decides on a verdict now. The jury is sure to be found guilty.
But before we move to the verdict, I must ask one last time. Does the defense prosecution have anything else to add? Prosecution has nothing left to say on it. Very well, defense.
Come on, Justice, think of something! Your Honor, the defense...
Objection.
Oh. Please wait just a moment, Your Honor. I have something to say. Yuri, please control your outbursts. Please, Your Honor, just listen to me. I know who it is. Oh, God.
You know who what is?
Who else? The murderer.
You what?
I know who murdered Corey Upshur.
Can we not do this again? It didn't work the first time, buddy. You!
You. No.
What?
Yuri, this is a serious claim you're making. Why should I tell the court about this sooner? I didn't think anybody would believe me on it. But I can't stay silent. Now my life is on the line. This is preposterous. You can't expect us to believe.
It's worth it. It's our job to hear every witness, no matter what. My client must be allowed to speak.
Justice, surely you already know what he's going to say. I cannot let him make a mockery in this courtroom.
Wait, doesn't Joseph already know who he's going to indict? I have a bad feeling about this.
Objection overruled, Mr. Ainsworth. If that's correct, it's our duty to hear every witness. Judge Yuri, you will give your testimony to this court at once.
Oh my lord.
It was close! For about a week, I've been hearing strange noises come from these chambers. The noises happen late in the night, long after tragedy has already left the building. There's no other explanation, as be the ghost that haunt the halls of this courthouse. I hired a paranormal investigator to search that room, but even he doesn't believe me.
Oh, we're polling this.
We've heard the ghost guy. Okay, it's right. I was just heard over the passage. I'm sorry. I don't know why I'm tired. What? Why isn't anyone saying anything?
Well, now I know why Joseph was able to predict who he was going to indict. In all truth, I probably should have seen this coming too.
Your Honor, this man became mockery of this court. The court response to a date ghost. Indeed, it is rather ridiculous. Telling you, boy, Ghost did this crime. I know it. Why would anyone believe me?
Objection!
Could it possibly be because you're stark raving mad? Your Honor, I demand that this testimony be stricken from the record. Justice, what are your thoughts?
It's true that Judge Yuri's testimony has more holes than Swiss cheese. But I can't just give up. This could be my last chance.
Your Honor,
Your Honor, the defense asserts its right to a cross-examination. Testimony is just as valid as any other!
Mr. Justice, please don't feed into this man's delusions. If the defense means to reserve the right to cross-examination, then we must oblige. Though I can't say I envy you, Mr. Justice.
My last chance. I'm gonna find something useful in that testimony. Really gotta dig deep to find the truth.
It was gold.
Hold it!
Oh.
No, this is you.
Okay. A paranormal investigator. I'm behind one a few years back. There's a disturbance at the orphanage. The children kept reporting strange happenings. So it's true? Ghosts are real?
Juror number 6 was the paranormal investigator.
Of course not. It turned out to be 2 young boys playing pranks on the others.
You need an investigator for that? Oh, yeah, any paranormal investigator with their self would say the same. Like I told the defendant at the time, ghosts are not real. There are many supernatural phenomena out there. Ghosts are not one of them. Wait, hang on a minute. Juror 6, what did you just say? Ghosts aren't real? Oh no, before that! Said something about talking with the defendant about something? So I did. I think I just uncovered something big. Juror 6, the paranormal investigator that the defendant hired. That was you, wasn't it? Yes, I was the one he hired to investigate the neighboring chambers.
Order. This is the first I've heard about this. I certainly heard there's no conflict of interest going on.
So sure, Mr. Edgeworth, I only know what to defend one time. I held no previous grudges nor admiration for the man. You can trust me to be unbiased. That said, it's true that Judge Erie was rather stubborn with accepting my findings.
As well as I should be. Say right to my face that goes on real when I've seen the proof for myself.
Oh yeah, it's the case where a spirit medium summoned a spirit in the middle of a courtroom. I believe I've explained this already. Spirits and ghosts are two different things. A spirit needs a medium to interact with the living world, while a ghost has no such limitations. Ah, so glad to see someone has done their homework. The idea that someone from the beyond the grave could interact with the world on its own. Why, it's completely preposterous. So, like, can I get your phone number after this year number 6? You sound really cool. Oh yeah, of course.
Objection.
But how else do you explain what happened? Hey, I thought you were going to share your phone number with me. The murderer killed Rupture and then vanished without a trace. How else do you explain that if Ghost went involved?
The other passage. You bring up a good point. Where really did the killer go after killing Corey Rupture?
Indeed, that's the newest answer to your case, Mr. Justice. Do you think you have an answer?
Maybe? I have to really think about this. The reason why the killer vanished after the murder was because... the killer was hiding. The answer to this riddle is very simple. It was a ghost! Fell into hiding shortly after the murder!
But it doesn't make any sense. The killer would have been found by now if that was the case.
What do you mean?
Crime scene was thoroughly searched by the police after the murder. Assuming for the sake of argument that the defendant's account is the truth. There's been someone in the room from the moment the defendant walked in. Needless to say, there aren't many places to hide at the crime scene. Not many places, try none. Fact is, there are no real places for the killer to have hidden after the murder. The way in and out was through my office, too. Of course, I didn't see anyone in the office during the time of the murder. It's not like they could have escaped the crime scene at all. In short, it was impossible for the killer to hide anywhere after the murder. The only explanation is that the killer face was involved because they're a ghost.
Finally. Been a long time coming. I think at last. I just found the opening I needed.
Well, defense, what do you think of your hero's argument?
The defendant's statement is extremely important, Your Honor. The words will have to be added to its testimony.
Very well, if you please, defendant.
This is it. This is where I turn this case around.
This is the place. Not me, my need.
I'm going against the bookcase passage.
It's been forever since I watched the Lorax. I totally forgot the lyrics.
I should have just trusted my gut fireplace passage.
Objection!
Bookcase passage.
When I found this evidence, I just knew. Knew I had to play a role in what happened that day. But I didn't expect just how important it would end up being. Or that it would be the entire key to this case.
Rich. Or is there something you wanted to say?
Of course, Your Honor. Hercule Erie, you claim there is nowhere for the killer to hide after the murder?
Correct. They've been hiding. Police would have found them by now.
I'm not entirely sure about that. All you need is the right hiding spot.
But really no such hiding spot exists, right?
And I wouldn't be so sure about that. I'd like the court to take a look at this.
It's the fireplace in my brother's chambers.
During my investigation yesterday, I came privy to the knowledge of this fireplace, and the secret passage that it holds.
It's a secret passage, are you saying?
Yes. A long time ago, before time had a name, there was a library built beneath the courthouse. It was never used, however, and turned into a Cold War bunker. All along, there's been a second secret passageway at the crime scene. And the hiding place the killer chose after killing Corey Rupture is something that's been underneath our feet the entire time! And that is the truth, behind our vanishing killer!
Order in the court.
Objection.
What manner of witchcraft, sorcery, what the? I've never heard of a secret bunker under the courthouse. Indeed, this is news to me as well.
I guess that's why I've never heard of it, is because it was built during the Cold War. When the Cold War ended, so too did the need to use it as a safety bunker, thus allowing it to remain a secret for all time!
I suppose you think you have it all figured out, don't you, Sis?
He's so calm. Do you know about about the fireplace passage?
Very well then, Mr. Justice. Let's hear your theory about what happened that day.
Very well. As we know, there are 3 ways into the crime scene. First and most obvious is just going through the main door.
Maybe that door's locked at the time of the murder.
That's correct, Your Honor. Your brother had a trial during that time and locked the main entrance. And since it remained locked until the body was discovered...
You can see the saying that the entrance was never used.
The second entrance was, of course, the bookcase passage. This passage was available for anyone to use during the trial Judge Erie presided over.
However, this passageway was closed when Judge Erie used it to enter the crime scene.
While true, that does not mean it was never used at all. Finally, we have our third entrance into the room, the newly discovered fireplace passage.
The entrance leads to the underground bunker.
Precisely, Your Honor. All we need to do is figure out which entrances the killer and victim used.
Very well, Mr. Justice, let's see what you come up with. Let's start with the victim. What entrance did they use to enter the crime scene?
He has the bookcase passage. Given everything we know up to this point, I think the answer is obvious. On the day of the crime, the victim entered through the bookcase passage.
Yeah, why are you so sure?
Let's consider what happened that day, Your Honor. On the day of the murder, Corey Rupture was supposed to appear in court, defending one of his clients during an embezzlement trial. However, he did not appear. I think what he was doing during that time is fairly obvious.
He broke into Judge Erie's chambers and entered the crime scene.
Exactly, Your Honor. He'd have the exact knowledge of when he'd be able to do such a thing, given he was a part of the trial itself. That explains how the victim got into the crime scene. Oh, that's left as the killer.
Alright, Mr. Justice, it's time for the second round. Figure out how the victim did. Now, how did the killer to the scene?
Well, I think the answer is very clear here. The way the killer entered the crime scene is the exact same way they left it.
Ah, you mean?
Of course, Your Honor. They left through the fireplace passage. Let's consider the facts. On the day of the murder, everyone's seen walking into the courthouse in an alibi. It means no one must have seen the real killer that day. If you think about why, then the reason is obvious. It's because the killer was hiding underneath the courthouse even before the murder!
I see. Though your theory leaves quite a few implications about the crime. First is that this crime was a premeditated murder. And secondly, because the killer and the victim entered through all different entrances. The rest have agreed to reopen the courthouse beforehand.
Those would have to be true, yes. For what reason the killer and victim met up is a mystery right now. But I think the jury will agree that we can't reach a verdict with all these lingering questions!
I concur. I think there is more we need to look into.
There we go. That should buy me an extra day of investigation. I just have to follow this lead and see where it takes me.
That'll be all. My apologies for the interruption, Your Honor.
Oh boy.
However, I feel it's a bit premature to enter this trial here. Okay.
Edgeworth, what is he planning?
Premature? What do you mean, Mr. Edgeworth? It's simple, Your Honor. There's a theory is lacking in one area.
What? What one area?
Evidence. Let's see the defense back up that theory as any decisive evidence. Without it, their theory is merely speculation. Nothing more.
No, come on, I'm so close.
Prosecution does bring up a good point. Let's see proof that the fireplace passage was used at all. That is, unless the defense is meant to provide proof against the claims.
Come on, that's so unfair. How am I supposed to prove that someone used the bunker? Wait, hold on a second. If I remember correctly, there was something out of place I found yesterday.
Well, defense, what is your response? Ooh.
The defense is willing to present evidence that proves that there was a third party in the underground bunker.
Very well, let's not stall any longer. What evidence proves that there was a third party in the underground bunker? I almost read that as butler for a second.
Butler?
There's a third party in the underground butler.
I'm guessing the provisions. My logic is correct. The killer was someone who was hiding in the bunker ahead of time, so that they could avoid being seen that day.
Yes, we've established that.
With that in mind, let the court have a look at this!
What are those?
What are those?
Looks like a pile of clothes. Blanket. No snacks or detective legs.
That's exactly what they are, Your Honor. I discovered these items during my investigation yesterday. What's important about these provisions are where they were found.
Ah, do you mean to suggest?
That's right, Your Honor. There's no doubt that there was a third party staying in the bunker for some time. After all, that's exactly where these provisions were found!
Order, order! It's critical to believe. It seems that the claims have some truth behind them. Discovering the second secret passage really has changed this entire case. Let's discover who these provisions belong to at once.
Ha! Let's see Edgeworth respond to that, says Edgeworth. Huh, I'd love to see Edgeworth respond to that.
Finally.
What? It's completely unfazed!
This is where our difference in experience comes into play, Mr. Justice. What do you say, Mr. Edgeworth?
Of course! Why didn't I see it earlier? When I went down to check out the bunker. Emma was with me too! There's no way she didn't tell him about what we found down there. Edgeworth just led me into a trap! I fell apart without even questioning it!
There actually won't be a need to check who these provisions belong to.
You mean to say I already know who they belong to!
Naturally, Your Honor.
I should have presented this information earlier!
It's very simple, Your Honor. Evidence law. Evidence law is the main reason. List of evidence had already been decided before the provisions were found. Meaning the only way I'd be able to present this evidence would be for you to prove its relevance to the case. Precisely. I was previously incapable of proving this evidence's relevance to the case. That is, until the defense did so for me.
I don't like where this is going.
Very well, Mr. Edgeworth, the court accepts this explanation. Now, please tell us the results of what you found. Of course, Your Honor. There were a few hair strands in the clothes found in the bunker. Naturally, the prosecution has taken the liberty of performing a DNA test on these strands. Results, Mr. Edgeworth? Goddamn it, British again. They are found in the clothes belong to Corey Rupture.
What? What?
The clothes belong to the victim. That changes a lot of things, but that completely changes everything. And to get those, Your Honor, the defense theorized the victim used the bookcase passage, while the killer used the fireplace passage. However, this proves that the reverse was actually true. The victim was the one who used the fireplace passage, but the killer was the only one that day who used the bookcase passage. Yes, it could be no other than the defendant, Hercule Leary.
Ah!
Order!
No! I can't believe it! We destroyed my argument in a single blow!
No, you have it all wrong. It wasn't me. It was a ghost. I swear it. I killed him. I think it's about time you put that argument to bed, Judge Erie. All the evidence points towards you. If the court would allow the prosecution to revise its theory based on this new evidence. Very well, proceed, Mr. Edgeworth. Corruption did not make an appearance during the embezzlement trial that day. Why should now be obvious to everyone.
It's actually underneath the corner. Oh, wait.
In the bunker. At some point after the trial, corruption gave up into the crime scene. It was at this point that Hercule Erie must have heard this happen. The defendant became frightened, went to check out the noise. And in his haste, he ripped the bookcase off its hinges. At this point, the victim and the defendant must have gotten into an argument. Well, the argument was about the victim refusing to show up to court. What about him trespassing in the chambers of Judge Erie's dear friend is unclear. What is clear that the altercation soon turned violent. But then the Hercule made an important decision. He would not let this trespasser leave with his life. He took a rope and used it to strangle the victim. However, his sheer strength ended up breaking the victim's neck. Yes, it does line up with what we've heard so far.
Not good. The Jerry is looking guiltier than ever. What do? I think of something.
Raising attention.
think we can. There's not really anything to disprove this. I don't want to click it, but I really don't think we have anything. It's hopeless. I can't think of anything. Every part of this case is completely airtight.
Well, there's only one piece of the puzzle left. What's that, Mr. Truth? I'd like to go to look closer at the autopsy report. Since the victim received a head wound post-mortem, the explanation for this head wound is rather chilling. During this struggle, the defendant did not yet realize he had killed the victim. And so, to finish the job, he slammed the victim's head into the fireplace.
Objection.
No, I would never do that to anybody. Mr. Justice, help me.
There's nothing I can do. This case is perfect. Can't find any holes anywhere.
This is the truth of the matter. And I never would have been able to find this truth without you, Mr. Justice. Oh. I would have been unable to prove the relevance of the fireplace passage. I do not put the pieces together yourself. From the bottom of my heart, I give my deepest gratitude, Apollo Justice.
No! No! Paul got played like a fucking fiddle. Jesus Christ.
I do love how this case has written both Apollo and Edgeworth.
I am loving it too.
I believe we have finally reached the end of a very long road. It would seem that way, Anna. It gives me no pleasure to say it at all. The truth is that Hercule Eerie is the true culprit of this crime. The events presented today makes that abundantly clear.
Is there really nothing I can do? I exhausted every possibility. I can't refute Edward's claims. Is this really how it ends?
Prosecution defends both fought admirably. But the decision of the verge is now out of our hands. No more arguments to be made. Now we're resting the jury to decide the defendant's fate. I trust the court that they will come to the right clear decision.
Can we reenact 12 Angry Men?
12 angry men. Humble members of the jury, the decision is now yours.
This can't be happening. Jury reaches a verdict now. There's no doubt they'll find him guilty.
Members of the jury, have you reached a verdict? We have, Your Honor. The vote is unanimous. We, the jury, find the defendant, Hercule Eerie.
It's over. Judge Eerie, I'm sorry. I tried my hardest. It wasn't enough. I failed.
Apollo, chin up. The worst of times are when lawyers have to force their biggest smiles.
That's...
What? Chef Garrett's here.
Phoenix, right? Who are you? Oh, yeah, actually.
A little bit of advice is what someone I looked up to once told me. That you could use it right about now.
Force my biggest smile? You know, it's funny. A little bit of advice he just gave me almost reminds me of what he used to say.
Remember, son, no matter what happens, our dragon never yields.
In many ways, what he said to me all those years ago defined who I am. I always tried my best to live up to the names of those who inspired me, but I never felt like I could. Worst of times when Morris had to force their biggest smiles.
Really would have appreciated stuff like this being mentioned in the actual Apollo trilogy.
I mean, I get why they
just
weren't, but like, yeah, you know.
You know, and I know the whole thing with the Apologistic Trilogy being called the trilogy is kind of controversial in the fandom, but yeah. But how can I force a smile at... Oh wait, no, that's you.
How can I force a smile like this? The dragon never yields. There's not every option. Can't go any further. Can't live up to their standards. Is that why you left me? Was I just not good enough? Doesn't really matter what I do anyways. Smile or frown, yield or not. Trial's over. Nothing else I can do.
Place it together. Apologists. Verdict being called doesn't mean your job is done.
What? What does that mean?
He's right, Mr. Justice. You subject to perform your submission examination.
Summation examination?
Just don't tell me I didn't fill you in on the details. Hey, I was short on time, alright?
That's Mr. Right for you.
Yes, well, I suppose it's up to us to explain it. In this new iteration of the jury system, would not stop at merely the verdict. The jury is required to give the reasoning for their specific vote. And they have both sides and begin their closing arguments.
Closing arguments?
Final chance for both attorneys to sway any jury members to their side. The defense and prosecution make one final argument to plead their case. Indeed, both defense and prosecution make their last stand in their closing arguments. However, the current losing side has one more trick they can use during closing arguments. Summation examination. Correct. Oh, sorry, that was your line. The current losing side makes you seriously interest themselves. Ugh. I just cannot help it when I see words on the screen. I must read them. I must read.
Oh, reading, honestly.
Yeah, but I've reached the start of realizing how much I actually miss reading. Anywho, I'd ask them for that clarification on their reasoning. Therefore, it should be known that no further evidence shall be submitted while the closing arguments are happening.
What? That's so unfair!
Is your throat starting to hurt too? Rest assured, Mr. Justice, there's a way to continue the trial. That's what worries you. Wait, why did I give him the judge for it? Ah, God. I'm mixing up my voices. Indeed, if at least half the jury changes their votes. The jury is declared hung and the trial proceedings will continue.
That's it! I can convince the jury to change their votes. Turn this trial around.
Nothing. Stand vertical upon the jurors one last time. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, please explain your reasoning. Judicial findings. The jurors' contingents. The defendant is big and scary. We're wanting these children.
There were only two possible places to enter. A third party's impossible.
This case is gonna bring back bad memories. Ugh, I feel queasy.
Not aiding anyone on this case. Seems absolutely hopeless for the defendant.
Ghost! What a strange man's defendant is. Mr. Gambit didn't need to rely on that.
I thoroughly examined those chambers. Is there signs of supernatural activity there? We're pressing that, absolutely. Can't help but notice on all those arguments hold equal weight.
Yeah, it's not up to us to decide what the jury's reasons are. What we can now is try to sway the decisions.
Okay, but how? I'm not allowed to present any new evidence. How can I sway the jury?
I can tell what you're thinking, Mr. Justice. To answer your question, I think I might know a way. It might not be to present any evidence during the summation examination. But that doesn't mean you can still can't find contradictions.
Contradictions?
Yes, but instead of contradictions between the evidence and the testimonies, it would instead be contradictions between the statements of the jurors.
So if I present the profile of a juror and the statement of another juror, I can pit two jurors' statements against each other. But why would Edgeworth give me that kind of advice? It's impossible. Getting me to this point was his true intention all along? Of course, why didn't I think of it sooner? There's no way Mr. Wright, a disbarred lawyer, could do all this on his own. Edgeworth has been helping him set up the jury system all along. His goal was always to get me to the point where I'd have to rely on my closing argument. Also, I could test the biggest addition to the jury system, the summation examination.
It's ready if they may begin their summation examination.
Pit jurors against each other by presenting their profiles. The only problem is I didn't see any statements that contradict each other. Maybe pressing the jurors will open up that opportunity. Worst times when the words have to force their biggest smiles, huh? The defense is ready to begin, Your Honor. Fine, I can do this. After all, a dragon never yields. Did we get a walking Apollo? Aww. You investigated the chambers? That's correct. You know, I didn't believe in the defendant's ghost stories, so I wanted to make sure nothing odd was going on in the courthouse. And you must have had some doubts, right? You went as far as to perform an investigation for the defendant. That's far enough. As I said, I don't believe in the defendant's ghost stories. However, I knew he wouldn't believe me until I proved what was really going on. And so, about a week ago, I started searching that room from top to bottom. I left no stone unturned, not even the underground library. Wait, you knew about the hidden fireplace passage? Oh, it just occurred to me that I failed to mention that earlier. That was an error in judgment on my part. I apologize. That would have helped out a lot sooner, buddy! Still, if you knew about the secret passages, that begs the question. How exactly did you learn about the underground bunker? Now, that's incredibly simple to explain, my boy. You see, it's because I was hired by a judge. I technically had special permissions to look into the documents that are otherwise restricted to the public. It's included a full set of blueprints at the courthouse itself. Blueprints, you say? Do you think that's how the victim found out about the bunker as well? Certainly say it's a distinct possibility. However, it should be noted that I never saw the victim during my investigation. So the victim must have only started camping in the bunker after Juror 6's investigation. What exactly were the results of your investigation? Oh, well, my investigation didn't really reveal anything too interesting. It was a suspicion I had the moment I got a hold of the blueprints. More than likely, the sound was coming from some unused vents above the chambers. What? Unused vents? Yes, it seems they've been there since the courthouse was built. However, better forms of ventilation have made them obsolete. Likely been subject to wear and tear over the years, being so old and all. We explained to the defendant that this is what was likely causing the noise.
I see. Well, defense, do you find what Juror 6 said to be important?
It's very important. What Juror 6 just said is very important, Your Honor, but that it's reasoning me update with this new information.
Sound like an old man for a second, Apollo. Very well, if you please, Juror 6.
It's just a hunch at this point. This could be where I finally start to turn things around. I think it was... Was it Juror 2? Yeah.
Objection!
Ooh.
These two statements are clearly contradictory, Your Honor!
What do you mean, defense?
Oh, what? Some more of my reasoning? Me? Huh? Did I say something wrong? Let's really consider the facts of this case. One of the major reasons why my client is the biggest suspect in the case is because of our assumptions about the crime scene's entrance. Yes,
crime scene entrances. Main entrance, the bookcase passage, and the fireplace passage.
The main entrance was locked at the time, so it's out of the question. The bookcase passage would require prior knowledge of the embezzlement trial to use, which only leaves the fireplace passage. The problem, however, is that we can only prove that the victim used that passage. And if the killer were also able to use it, why not just kill Corey Rupture and hunt in the hidden bunker? And then when you select it's highly unlikely for a third party to have used any entrance.
Yes, that seems to be the case.
However, what if our assumptions are wrong? What if there was a fourth entrance that the third party could have used? Heh, are you really that desperate? Such a place actually existed, you or the prosecution would have brought it up. Unfortunately, that's impossible. After all, we can't bring up such an entrance if we only just learned about it. Are you suggesting? That's right, Juror 6! All along, we've thought there were only 3 entrances into the crime scene. The main entrance and the 2 secret entrances. However, a new possibility has just opened up! The unused vents above the crime scene may very well hold a 3rd secret entrance!
Order.
Your Honor, I request Juror 6 submit the courthouse blueprints to the court.
The request is denied.
What? Why?
I said another did not. Court cannot accept new evidence during closing arguments.
Damn it! We need those blueprints.
Your Honor, if I may make a suggestion. What is it, Mr. Wright?
Well,
The court would have to be willing to accept new evidence. The defense, prosecution, and jury technically aren't members of the court, are they? Well, counts. You're correct, Mr. Wright.
there comes Mr. Wright with the save. Be careful. Can't always save me like that in the future.
Very well, I would like the closing arguments to be suspended. So that Mr. Wright may share the courthouse blueprints with the counsels. Your Honor, if I may be allowed to speak. Mr. Edgeworth. Normally, the opposing counsel is not allowed to speak while one side is in the middle of performing their summation examination. However, I just that shouldn't matter since closing arguments have been suspended.
That explains why he's been so silent.
Mr. Wright is investigating the blueprints from Juror 6. It should be extremely easy to verify the existence of these unused vents. How so, Mr. Edgeworth? All we need to do is send a Miss Sky to the scene to look for these vents. Your approval or not, this 3rd secret passageway exists. As you are aware that the court can exit the results of this investigation. Once the defense is able to force court proceedings to continue. Suppose nothing is stopping you from doing so. Excellent, Your Honor.
Let's hope she comes back with something that'll help me. Ah! Sad. I'm not the only one who heard that, right?
Yeah, I'm sure Emma will be alright. Good. Mr. Wright has arrived. You've been the requested blueprints. They're right here, Your Honor. These blueprints are rather simple, aren't they? Indeed, they don't exactly give much information.
It can at least point to the idea that there might be a 3rd secret passage. That's just up to Emma to confirm it.
Well, the blueprints are yours, Apollo. If they went you well. Well, I have to get back to the jury room now. I'll leave the rest to this capable courtroom. Now, all we do is wait for the Detective Sky. She's not like that. Miss Sky, would you please reveal the results of your investigation?
Will you pay for my medical bills if I do? I think I broke my hip or something.
No.
Oh.
You, Apollo, you jerk!
What? Me? What'd I do?
I was bumping around and bruising myself inside the fence enough as it was. Then suddenly I fall through the ceiling and onto the floor. And to top it all off, I could cut my hand on something sharp when I started falling. It's all your fault.
Well, I'm not the one who told you to crawl through the... Oh!
There it is. Ahem. Your results, if you please, Miss Sky. Oh, right away, Mr. Edgeworth.
Oh, sure, piss off to the person who's actually responsible.
At first, I wasn't actually able to find the darn vents in the first place. I eventually just gave up and looked for an entrance outside the courthouse.
And we're able to find such an
And we-
entrance?
Yeah, behind the courthouse there's a grate that leads inside the unused vents. It's just barely big enough for a person to fit inside. Ooh, gotta say, I did not appreciate the claustrophobia there, Apollo.
It was Edward who told you to do it, not me! Which...
Shut up, you're the punching bag of the series.
Oh! Will you stop throwing secus at me? Which...
In any case, no, it's too much fun. In any case, I crawled my way through the vents, trying to figure out where I was going. And suddenly I start falling into the crime scene.
So I was right. There's a third secret entrance to the crime scene.
Seems like they try to cover up the entrance into the vents with some ceiling tiles, turning it into a trapdoor of sorts. You mentioned cutting your hand or something earlier. Do you know what exactly it was? If I had to guess, probably the edge of the trapdoor itself. The thing is sharp, far sharper than it seems.
That sounds painful.
It's not all bad, however. While I was crawling around, I found a device attached inside the vents themselves.
Device?
Device? Oh, yeah, it seems rather out of place, just kind of bolted to the ceiling of the vent. I decided to unscrew it and take it with me, though it might be useful evidence.
I'd be pleased allowed to see this device you found.
Feast your eyes on this.
What? The pulley? What is that? Some kind of pulley?
No! But Mr. Edgeworth, are you okay? Detective Sky? Are you sure you found this pulley in the vents? Miss Edgeworth, what's wrong? Why do you have that look? Just answer the question, detective.
Going home with Edgeworth. Time for you to completely changed.
Yeah. I'm sure that's where I found it. Miss Sky, Mr. Justice, you don't realize I've seen an identical pulley to this recently. Used as evidence in the larceny trial against May Steele.
What?
There's our connection. Order. Fortunately, the courts still cannot accept this evidence until proceedings continue.
Even so, I'd still better take note of this. Oh. Oh, shit. Yours on the court. I call upon you now. What are your thoughts on the information we've just found? Court cannot accept this evidence until closing arguments are finished. But you are not the judge. Can you honestly use the same claims as before to justify your stances?
These further explanation will be required from the jury. This examination is hereby no longer suspended.
Judge, the jurors will have to change their statements now. Like a new opportunity to attack. It's very faint. I'm starting to see it. The path to the truth. What the fuck? You're 6! Focus on the trial, if you please. Wow, my boy, such a pissed look in your eyes. My apologies, it's not like any ramble on about something unrelated topics. I said it was my bruises that was what brought on that sudden thought. Your bruises? Oh yes, you see, it was not just the hidden bunker I investigated that day. Yes, you also investigated the fence as well. Indeed, I know quite an unpleasant experience, let me tell you. First of all, I had trouble even finding the fence to begin with. The ceiling tiles pushed no matter how hard I tried. How'd you even get inside? I actually gave up and used the outside entrance. Oh, I see. In any case, I crawled through those tiny fences and I reached those chambers, at which point I was all too happy to finally get out of there. What was wrong with the fence? Got my flashlight, it was dark, it was cramped, and I hit my head on something. And the pulley is what he hit his head on. All the bumping around I was doing there, I got horribly bruised.
Phew, indeed, this sounds an awful experience.
I wonder. Depending keeps mentioning the bruises you got in the vents. Will this somehow be relevant to the case at all? Courts. Oh, present evidence? Oh, boy. I did not read that. Juror 6! What? What's that look all of a sudden?
Is there something wrong with the fence? You want to take Judge's voice?
Juror 6 keeps mentioning that he received bruises from crawling through the vents. Wait a second. Are there bruises here? Oh, shit. Right, it was so dark and cramped in there. The crew recalled Detective Sky also received similar bruises as well, while traveling through the exact same vents.
Indeed, it would seem the cramped nature of the fence. Just to inflict harm on those who are trapped within.
I agree, Your Honor. And it's this fact that is extremely important to this case, Your Honor. Oh, I've seen that devilish look in your eye throughout the trial. You should present me evidence, don't you? Yes, I do, Juror 6. The truth that this reveals could be pretty big. I believe the evidence relates to the bruises received by Juror 6 of the Sky. As we know, Juror 6 and Miss Sky's bruises were caused by cramped vents. Why? Because the two of us were bumming around in there. However, this new info actually puts old evidence into a different context. After all, they're not the only two we know that got bruised up, are they? Oh.
Yeah, you mean?
It's all right there in the autopsy report. On the day of the murder, the victim suffered multiple bruises to various areas. The evidence speaks for itself, don't you think? Oh, do you mean to suggest? The prosecution suggests that the victim got these bruises from a struggle. But the truth is that the victim was inside the fence on the day of the murder!
Ooh. Order.
I see. Your Honor, given this new information that has come to light, I would like to revise my statement with this new information.
Very well, Juror 6. Made you just that.
It's so close, I can feel it. Now they're pitting the jurors against each other. Alright, let's see. Alright. Oh. Again? These two statements show a clear discrepancy, Your Honor.
You know something, Mr. Justice.
What? Again? Oh dear. I once again see something wrong. Juror 2 believes there's no proof that anyone was in the vent on the day of the murder. However, we now know that isn't true. After all, the bruises on the victim would seem to indicate otherwise. Right, we discussed this not too long ago. After all, the young detective and I were all bruised after climbing through the vents. Victim's bruises could also be from climbing around in those vents. That's... Precisely, Juror 6. Of course, that leads to one major discrepancy in the facts.
What was that, Mr. Justice?
The provisions in the bunker, Your Honor. These provisions would seem to indicate that Corey Rupture was in the bunker that day. And yet, from the bruises seen in the autopsy, it seemed that he was nowhere near the bunker at that time.
That is wood.
Hold on, there's one problem I have with that. Sure, the bruises could indicate that the victim was in the vents, but it can hardly be considered conclusive proof. That's where you're wrong, Juror 2. We already have all the evidence we need, thanks to Detective Sky.
What, me?
Recall that Miss Sky fell out of the vents after traveling through them for a bit, and when she fell onto the ground, she landed with a very big thud. No!
Stop looking so smug about that.
Well, so what? Does the detective falling out of the vents have to do with anything? It's actually very simple. Please recall the defendant's earlier testimony.
On the day of the murder, I was in my chambers busy filing some paperwork. The trial ending early, I was looking forward to having some extra free time to get work done. Suddenly I heard a loud thump came from the neighboring treasure chambers.
A loud thump came from the neighboring judge's chambers. And until now, the court has been unsure what could have been the cause of that noise. But I think that should be obvious now.
I think that should be obvious now. It's just... What are you suggesting?
The victim was inside those vents on the day of the murder. At some point while he was inside, he fell right through the trap door.
Order.
Hang on, I'm not fully convinced yet. What now? It's true that the detective girl fell through the vents yet. How do we know that the same could have happened to the victim? And hell, Juror 6 didn't happen to mention anything about falling through the vents. Well, come on, how am I supposed to prove something like that? Actually, I might have an idea about that one. Juror 6? While I was fumbling around in the dark vents, my hand touched something hard and long, like a dildo. I gave it a nice tug, but it was difficult to budge. It was magnetized to the vents. When I finally got it loose, a trap door opened and run with me. I was able to climb out. How exactly did you manage to get loose? The magnetic rod. I believe it was some sort of stopper put in place to keep the entrances from being open. After I made it out of the vents, I put the stopper back in its place on the door. The door then instantly snapped shut and I let go. I believe the entrances are designed to close when no weight is being put on them. Thank you, Juror 6. That's a lot of important information. In any case, with the stopper back in place, the trapdoor wouldn't budge anymore. I don't know what I tried to get it open again. However, if the stopper was removed, the trapdoor would almost open if any weight was put onto it. Hey, wise guy, I'm going to give you the benefit of the doubt, if you have proof. Proof that the stopper for the trapdoors above the crime scene was removed. You could finally explain an odd piece of evidence that I found. Very well, Juror 2. I'm ready to give you that proof you want. Here's the proof the stopper for the trapdoor was removed that day! Actually, Juror 6, I have a question for you. Ask away, son. I might not know the stopper you moved when you escaped through the vents. Happen to look anything like this? That's it. That's it, my boy. The stopper looks like the stoppers used for the trapdoors. I knew it. It explains everything. As it just so happens, I found the stopper in a rather peculiar area. In the underground bunker, to be precise. What? What did you say? I think the implications of this are rather clear. The only chance the stopper could have been taken to the bunker was sometime before the murder. After all, after the murder happened, the defendant attracted attention to the scene. There would be no chance to remove the stopper after the murder. So then, that means... Everything falling through the vents is the sound that the defendant heard that day. The removal of the stopper proves it was all planned out!
Alright, please calm down.
I have the feeling I should update my notes on this poll. Salvation does change quite a bit. Alright, I've decided. I'm gonna revise my statement. I'm one step closer to the truth. I'm start comparing his new statement to the ones made by the other jurors. Okay, I don't care about your statement. That's also what I want to know. That's what I'm trying to figure out too, Jerk 5. Do you think it could be tied to the murder in any way? And I guess, maybe this is you.
I mean, I guess it's possible that it could be, but how much do we really have that it is?
The rope, because, like, there was a rope attached to the pulley. Let's think about this logically. About a week before the murder, the defendant started hearing strange noises. When we can tell, the strange noises must have been coming from the fence. Right, that's what I told the defendant, as you'll recall. Of course, that begs the question. What exactly did the defendant hear?
I don't know. It could have been the victim that the defendant heard. After all, Elizabeth was staying in the underground bunker, right? Staying, not saying. That...
Unfortunately, that's impossible. After all, Jerk 6 investigated the underground bunker a week ago, and he did not find Quarry Rupture down there. That's right, I would have seen it during my investigation. This means that the victim didn't stay in the bunker until after Jerk 6's investigation. In other words, after the defendant had already started hearing noises.
Oh, well, I'm stunned then.
Here's what I believed happened. The noises the defendant heard came from someone setting up this pulley in the vent. This is the truth about the strange noises the victim has been hearing.
I guess it makes sense, but still. That's really conclusive proof it's connected to the murder.
So Jerk 5 wants something more conclusive, I wonder, do I have evidence that I took the pulley to the murder? Of course I do.
You do?
Very well, Jerk 5. You want evidence tying the pulley to the crime? I'll give you the evidence you want.
You will? Sorry about that.
You take a close look at this pulley. It is truly tied to the murder of Quarry Rupture. But there should be a piece of evidence that explains the oddity about this pull.
Well, okay, I'm going to hear what you have to say.
Alright, here goes nothing. This is the evidence that can explain the murder. There we go. I'd like to bring the jury's attention to the actual pulley itself. You notice how the end of the rope attached to it is frayed? Almost as if the rest has been cut off.
Yeah, I see how speechless that is.
Let's see if I can explain where the rest of that rope went. If you look at the rope that was used to murder Quarry Rupture, you'll notice that the end is similarly frayed as well. It would be extremely easy to check if the two ropes are actually one and the same. Therefore, there's only one conclusion to be drawn. The rope that was used to kill the victim came from this pulley!
Order. But then, that would mean that the defendant cut the rope from this pulley. They used it as a weapon of murder.
Wait, hold on, that's not what I...
I'd like to be allowed to change my statement.
Great. That's just the wrong idea. Still, a new statement is a new statement. Wonder if I can use what you said to my advantage. Alright, who am I pitting?
Defendant cut the rope from the pulley with a knife, so explanation.
Wait a second. That would imply that he can't. What? First of all. Oh, wait, no. They wouldn't have been able to use it. It would have been an edge.
Objection!
Yeah! There's a clear contradiction between these two statements, Your Honor.
What? That's true defense.
Why are you suddenly doubting me now, bro? Oh no, I swear I didn't mean to do anything wrong. Oh, that's you.
Oh no, I swear I didn't mean to do anything wrong.
Huh? These are both
Wait.
you, actually.
What did I say wrong?
There's one mystery that's gone unanswered by the prosecution for quite a while. Where exactly did the murder weapon come from? However, it wasn't too long ago that a new possibility opened up to us.
Right. The rope came from the pulley, right? Right.
That's the most likely theory,
Right.
yes.
Right!
However, that opens up a new question for us.
Also, what the heck was that? Did you have to jump near that? Krista must be listening to the trial himself. Ignore that.
How did the ropes from the pulley end up around the victim's neck?
Right, I mean, the pulley was in the vents at the time. I really think the killer could have just reached in there, pulling up the pulley's rope while the struggle was happening.
That's right. Such a thing would be impossible. However, if you take a look at the rope itself, it's clear that it was cut at some point.
Right, so then the answer's obvious, isn't it? The killer must have used a knife to cut the rope from the pulley. Then they brought it with them to kill the victim. Pretty clever, huh?
I don't know. Still seems iffy to me. You got someone bringing a knife to a courthouse. Knife or not, the point remains the same. The assumption is that the rope was deliberately cut ahead of time, and then used in a struggle between the killer and the victim. Given the facts as we know them now, this would have to be the case.
Right, so what's the problem?
Well, it's a problem that raises another question, actually. What if the pulley's rope is being cut with a deliberate action?
What if it wasn't deliberate?
To call the details Miss Sky found in their investigations of the event themselves. At some point, she fell through the fence and into the crime scene. And when she did, something happened to her. That puts everything into a new perspective. We know, we saw this. You cut your hand, and it was the edge of the trap door, and that's very sharp. As Emma has already made clear with her earlier demonstration, the edge of the trap door is rather sharp indeed. Sharp enough, perhaps, to even cut a rope. The rope being cut was never a part of the plan. While it was being reeled in, the rope got caught on the edge of the trap door. When it got caught on the edge, that's when it got cut!
I see. Wow, everyone in the trial station is really sleepy. That would explain it. What do you guys thought? You're 5? You were the one who suggested the rope was cut. Not too much sure by it.
I don't know. What's the issue with my theory, Mr. Juror 5? Mr. Juror 5.
You hit the rope rubbed up against the edge of the trapdoor. It's not that easy. There should be some sort of way attached to the rope for that to happen.
A weight attached to the rope over the time of the murder. I might have an idea as to what that might be. The body. Alright, Juror 5. I'm going to show you proof. Proof that there was something of great weight to attach to the rope when it was cut.
Ooh, I'm most excited to see what you come up with.
Time to put your money where your mouth is, Justice. The object that was attached to the rope when it was cut is the autopsy report. Well, I guess if we're saying it's the body, then it would probably be the autopsy report. Yeah.
Ooh.
What I'm about to propose is completely insane. This feels like a reference to a really bad case in the Apollo Justice trilogy. I'm debating with myself about whether or not it's even possible. But if I'm right, if this really is the truth I'm being led to, we change everything we think we know about this case.
Defense, there's something wrong. You look like you've gone a bit pale.
Your Honor, the defense has come to a realization.
Realization, you say, about what?
But what was weighing down the rope, Your Honor, is the answer will change the very foundation of this case. What do you...
What do you mean? What came from it?
The only answer at the crime scene that was heavy enough to weigh down the rope is... the victim. Corey Rupture.
Hang on, defense. What is it you're trying to say? Implying that...
All this time, the assumption has been that the victim was killed with a rope that was first cut from some unknown source. The truth is, it actually happened in reverse. The pulley's rope was only cut afterwards used to hang the victim, causing its death! That's...
It's completely absurd! Order! Please, everyone, order! It's completely ludicrous.
I'll follow the clues to the truth as much as I could, Your Honor. This is where they've led me.
But he was hung. I think this was a suicide.
Unfortunately, there's no way this crime could have been on suicide. Perhaps you should have stated there are multiple bruises on the victim at various points. Not to mention, there's a large bruise right on the side of the victim's head. Almost as if he was attacked by some sort of blunt object. Besides, if the victim really was going to hang himself, why do it with a pulley inside a judge's chamber? Any way you look at it, this reeks of foul play.
But then, the killer gets it to pulley. Wouldn't he fight back?
I believe the autopsy report holds the answer to that question again. What comes next to the bruise on the side of the victim's head? The victim may have been hit in the head with something. It was not enough to actually kill him. Instead, this attacker simply knocked him unconscious. From there, the killer was able to set up their dubious plan. They tied the pulley's rope around the victim's neck, and then they used the pulley to hang him, execution style.
Ugh, that's horrible.
However, the killer made one crucial mistake that they did not intend. The victim's body now swaying on the rope, it acted as a pendulum. It's caused the rope to rub up against the edge of the trap door, and the rope finally snapped.
Oji, what's going on there? Oji, please tell me the ghost got you. Tell me you're okay.
He got electrocuted. More than likely, the victim was sent flying backwards. At that point, the defendant's head made contact with the fireplace, thus causing the wound on the back of his head. And the rest, as they say, is history.
I see, that explains quite a bit. But not everything.
What?
Your Honor, might be allowed to revise my statement. Not to address a flaw in the defensive logic.
God, are you kidding me? Will she ever give up? Oh well, it's progress at least. At least now I'm starting to form a viable theory. Okay, let's see all the scenes. Events or no events, only the defendant had the strength to break the victim's neck. But the sound removed, anyone could have fallen into the trapdoor. This might be our statement? To the detective get out of the vents and cut her hand to the edge now. Now. Oh shit, the stopper!
Objection!
These two statements are clearly linked, Your Honor!
Yeah, I can see it too this time.
Me again? You just hate me or something?
Oh, wait, me again? Already?
There's been one question plaguing me ever since a certain question came up. You know the victim, Corey Rupture, was in the vent on the day of the murder. The question I'd ask is, why? Why did the defendant choose to leave the bunker in favor of entering the vents? Yeah, I know, right? It's all way too confusing! Is it really, though? After all, we have to connect the dots between what we have And that should allow us to arrive at a clear truth. Connect the dots? What do you mean? Juror 5!
What is it?
Earlier, you pointed out that in order for the victim to be hung by the pulley, the victim would need to fall through the ceiling to make it happen.
Well, yeah, that's exactly what would need to happen after all.
And yeah, it wasn't too long ago that we figured out there's a way for him to do just that. It all starts to make sense when you put 2 and 2 together. Why is the victim in the vent on the day of the murder? Why did someone remove the magic the magic stopper? It's magic!
Oh, okay.
Why did someone remove the magnetic stopper preventing the trap door from opening? Why would the victim hang the body's victim from? The victim's... Bro. Where did the...
victim.
These are all questions that have a simple answer. Let's use these blueprints to show what happened. First, the killer set up the pulley inside the vent in advance. Then the killer knocked the victim out and sewed him inside the vent. And finally, the killer tied a rope to the victim's neck. Everything set up where Rupture's death trap was complete. All that was left to do was crank the pulley. And if the situation is already complete, everything should now be obvious!
That's...
Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, it was the killer who put the koi rupture in the vents. It was the killer who removed the magnetic stopper, keeping the trapdoor closed. It was the killer who bolted the pulley inside of the vents. It's all part of an elaborate death trap.
Order in the court. So the victim was dragged to his death by his neck inside those tiny vents.
That's right. This is the real truth of how the koi rupture died.
How the core rupture died.
Wait, his name is a typo. It's Corey Ruptured, not Corey Ruptured.
Oh my god. Number 1 millionth typo. I've lost track.
Surely doing something like that would leave some sort of evidence behind.
Yeah, I mean, right now, the pulley, the trapdoor, they're so disconnected. There has to be some sort of evidence trying to tying everything together.
Absolutely right, of course. There'd be evidence left behind. We know that the victim was in the vents, and we know that the victim was hung. The key to connecting these two together must be what happened inside the vents. And if the victim was really dragged by his neck before being hung, then there's no doubt that would leave evidence behind of some kind. We just have to figure out what kind. How about it, kid? Think you can present some evidence? I can, Juror 2. I can? The victim being in the vent and the victim being hung. This is the evidence that connects those two pieces together. Huh. It has to be the motorized pulley, right? Aw, damn. Wait, what did he say? What was it exactly that he said? The victim being in the vents and the victim being hung. The autopsy? Yeah. The victim being dragged to his death from inside the vents. We assume this is true. There's one place we can expect evidence of this would show up.
Or would that be defense?
On the victim's body, naturally. Keep in mind that the victim, Corey Rupture, was being dragged by his neck. Keep that in mind. With that in mind, it's natural to assume he would have been suffocated before your time.
Aha! That's exactly what happened, right?
That's right, Jerk 5. And all it's right here in the autopsy report. It's very clear that the victim was strangled pre-mortem. The prosecution has theorized that the victim's broken neck was not intended. The intended cause of death was strangulation or blunt force trauma. However, now we know the truth. Strangulation was just a side effect of the actual cause of death. That being the victim being dragged through the fence until he fell through the trap door. That was a hard sentence to say.
Order, please be calm. I see. Some big exists now. Your Honor, I'd like to revise my statement, please. Very well, you may do so.
I'm not done yet. There's so few jurors I'm convinced. But at least now, finally, I got Juror 5 to see my side. And see if her statement clashes with anyone else's now that she's agreeing with me. Alright. Let's go together. Oh.
Objection!
These two jurors are not in agreement, Your Honor! Truly? No way. You're joking, right?
You too, Mr. Justice.
This is
Me?
you.
What are you getting at, Mr. Justice? Me again? Why do you like picking on me so much, huh?
I swear it's not intentional, Juror 5. Well, anyways, the prosecution's case has been predicated on 3 important factors. Those factors being time, location, and capability. The victim was killed between 12:30 and 12:50, and only the defendant had the time to kill core eruption. The defendant was right next to the crime scene, so only he was in the right location as well. And finally, there's the matter of capability.
Right, only the defendant had the strength to break the defendant's neck with that.
However, the discoveries made not too long ago have been brought up by a new question. What if strength was no longer a factor in this crime?
What exactly do you mean, Mr. Justice?
I'm talking about, of course, this.
A pulley.
Before, it was thought the killer would have used the rope with his bare hands. Before, the fact that the victim's neck was broken was a sign of strength. However, we now know differently. We now know that the pulley was used to hang the victim. That on its own would have been enough to break the victim's neck.
So you must be joking.
Unfortunately, Juror 1, I'm being completely serious right now. I'm /SRS. If the pulley really is the device that broke the victim's neck, and it knocks down one of the key pillars upon which the prosecution's case rests on.
Capability.
Precisely. With the victim being dragged to his death by a pulley, the defendant's strength ceases to be damning evidence of his involvement. After all, it's not like the killer would need to be particularly strong to set up the death trap. In other words, the idea that the killer had to be unusually strong to commit this crime, completely and total bupkis!
Bupkis.
Bullshit, Your Honor! I plead bullshit!
Order, everyone. Please settle down. So it's specifically clear Judge Eber's name, right? Not entirely. Oh,
It's not a matter of proving that the killer even set up this death trap at all. And so I'm sure you'll agree that we can't end the trial here!
well, yes, that was to be. Hold on, that's a fast dear.
Oh, come on! What now?
Sure, for that someone wouldn't have to be as strong as the defendant. In order to break the victim's neck. However, the defendant would still have an easier time committing this crime.
You'll be kidding me! She's still not convinced?
It's clear we'll all need to hear more from you at this matter, Juror 1. Very well, did I revise my statement?
I'm so close, I can just tell I am. This one more push out would be enough to break through to the jury. Come on, here comes justice! For Gotham! Okay. Ouch. Wait, typo!
It was right all along, someone else broke into the chief prosecutors.
Fucking, we're gonna cross it for that. Can you please
Classic
take...
tours.
Juror number 4, you had a typo. What? Can you please keep focus at the trial at hand, please? Man's life is at stake.
Hey.
I'm so confused. I'm leaving topics. That's just so important, you know. What does that have to do with this trial? The prosecution said right about the Polly. Right. It's just like the one use of the larceny trial. Exactly. I don't see this as a coincidence. Whoever the Polly must be the person responsible for the larceny. I don't really
You're
know
a
what she's
very
talking about here.
old-sounding 19-year-old.
Is she 19? Oh. I didn't know said their ages. I feel like I need more context. In what way was the bully related to larceny? Oh wow, it's really simple actually. I made a theory that the real culprit snuck in through the window. That the pulley was used to climb down that point from the roof. That sounds like something out of a lame spy movie. Oh come on! Oh come off it! You know his theory was proven wrong. No, it wasn't. Maybe his reasoning sure, but not his theory. For the love of... Look, he messed up, okay? Just accept that! This theory really was correct, then why did the remote not work, huh?
Um,
A remote? Come on, you can't be blind to this. It can't be a coincidence! That was another typo. Lowercase. Oh my god. Wait, everyone, you can see it too! A remote was used during the trial. I wonder. This line of question. Oh my god, yes. Apollo. Juror 4! What? When you and Juror 2 were arguing not too long ago, there was something about a remote being brought up. Oh, yes, well, about that. About the Aiden's theory, you see, about how the thief got into the building. The remote was found at the scene, and Aiden thought it was used to control the pulley. I see. His theory was a complete myth. He used the remote during the trial. It doesn't prove anything. The culprit could have used a different remote. Yes, I think I'm finally starting to see the truth. Juror 4, what you just said about the remote? I'd like you to add to your statement to reflect this new information. Huh? Oh, sure. Just know it. The statement will provide a new vital clue going forward. I feel like, did someone else mention... Yeah, I knew someone else mentioned the pulley. 4, I think.
Objection!
Whoa! These two statements are clearly conflicting, Your Honor! Huh? What is it this time, Mr. Justice?
Me again? What did I say wrong this time?
Think you long enough to get me? To get to me? Hey, it kept me waiting this long! I don't even know how I'm supposed to respond to that. Getting away from that awkwardness. How the pulley can be used is crucial in figuring out the mystery of this murder. Well, if it was just a regular pulley that you had to use manually, you'd still need some upper body strength to use it.
Indeed, after all, tugging on a man's body can be that easy, pulling a knot.
However, this line of reasoning has one critical flaw. The flaw, of course, being that it makes the assumption that this is a manual pulley.
What do you mean?
Juror 4 revealed an interesting bit of information in her testimony not too long ago. He revealed that this pulley is not actually controlled manually at all, but rather is remote controlled.
Oh, that's right.
That's right! That's what Aiden said about the pulley, after all!
I see. So the pulley was controlled via remote.
I can see that Your Honor knows where I'm going with this. The remote-controlled pulley, not even the weakest person alive would be left out. Anyone could use it to kill Corey Rupture.
I see. So anyone could just use the remote.
Hang on, that still doesn't clear the defendant's name. What do you mean, Juror 2? Sure, the pulley being remote-controlled means nobody needed great strength in order to kill Corey Rupture. However, you said the prosecution's argument rested on 3 pillars. That's right. Time, location, and capability. The pulley being remote control has knocked down capability as one of the pillars. Right, but that still doesn't remove time and location. Those 2 factors still implicate the defendant in the crime. Do they truly, though? What do you mean? It's very simple, really. The pulley being remote controlled doesn't just eliminate capability as a factor. Also, it's another key pillar in the prosecution's case. Zet, I know it is. Its location. This is the final push I need to get this trial back on track. Key pillar eliminated by the prosecution's case is the key pillar eliminated its location. You should really give it any thought at all. There's only one true answer. At this time, the defendant being so close to the scene at the time of the crime has been the smoking gun. The one thing that truly ties to him what happened that day.
Indeed, makes me look rather suspicious.
However, if the victim actually died by being hung from the remote-controlled pulley, everything suddenly changes. After all, you wouldn't need to be near a pulley to use the remote, would you?
Wait, you're not suggesting.
I am. In truth, it really doesn't matter where the real killer was at the time of the crime. After all, for this crime, location is irrelevant. If the killer could have used the pulley remote to commit a remote murder! No. Wait, that can be true! What's going on here? Is that any out of his mind? But then what was that pulley doing in the vents? Well, that's up. Possibly. The killer was in the room when the matter occurred. Order!
Order, I would have order! Oh no, I'm having a heart attack too now. Oh,
No! I'm having a heart attack!
Oh, great, now this judge is dead too. Now we gotta replace it.
Alright, we gotta get a replacement judge.
Call Judge Courtney in here to deal with the job then.
She also had a heart attack.
Oh, god damn it.
Alright.
Anyway, Mr. Justice, this is quite the extraordinary claim you're making.
This is getting...
It is. It's actually a motive this entire time. Limited time. Ah, okay.
I'm well aware of how it must sound, Your Honor. However, this is where evidence has led me. It turns out the pulley was used to hang core eruption. And the remote the killer could have been anywhere inside the courthouse at the time. We'll assume that everyone who was near the crime scene at the time all were accounted for and had an alibi. Wait. I know who the killer is.
Yeah.
It's Aiden. He used the remote in the trial. And that was right before we heard the scream too. Oh my god, the killer is Aiden. That is crazy. The truth is actually the opposite. Everyone in the courthouse on the day of the murder has just become a suspect.
But it's insane. The jury can't accept. We will not accept this. Then you have no right to call yourselves a member of the jury.
Edgeworth?
Pardon my interruption from this mission examination. But the jury cannot turn away new information like this.
Mr. Edgeworth, I don't understand.
Shit. Oh, you know what? You may as well take him, because my voice is starting.
Are you siding with the defense on this issue?
Don't misunderstand me, Your Honor. The prosecution still holds true to its case. But it still has a long way to go to prove its remote murder theory. However, it is the job of our courts to look into every possibility. If the jury refuses to do so, they have no right to call themselves as a part of this court.
I agree. We have to find the truth. That is our biggest priority. If finding the truth defies the will of the jury, then so be it!
Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, you will be given the opportunity to prove one thing to say, that the common man can help our court blossom further. However, that will never happen if you refuse to hear out both sides of the argument. The choice is yours. Will you help our courts grow, or will you hinder them?
It'd be 10 long, grueling minutes until the court would reconvene. I was in the jury room the entire time, listening on the debate, when they finally came to a decision. As the jury finished debating the matter.
Yes, Your Honor. You're right to give our individual stances.
Very well. Me too, so. Oh boy, here it comes.
Alright, all together now. Guilty.
Guilty!
Not guilty.
Guilty!
Not guilty.
Not guilty! That's half.
Jury's complete.
The jury is completely split down the middle. As such, we must declare the jury hung. It's decided the trial must continue. I can't believe it. I did it! I got the jury to agree to let the trial continue! The trial proceedings now have to continue where they left off. The court shall now look up this new evidence presented by the closing arguments. Yes, finally I'm making progress. Have the trials to continue, I must ask one question. What is the prosecution's next move?
Your Honor, it is clear that we must look at these new claims between murder. Let's need to bone to confirm the defense's theory by the end of the trial.
How do you plan to do that?
As it just so happens, Your Honor. I happen to know who made this pulley.
You do, Mr. Redworth?
That name came up during the larceny trial that was involved with the day of the murder. It's made by none other than the one Vera Mission.
Vera? She made that? I really wasn't expecting her name to pop up again here. Her mission? The former forger? How can you be so sure, Mr. Edgeworth?
Mission Mark, Your Honor. Missions would label anything made with the mission mark when they were forgers. Seems the tradition carried over when Vera Mission started making original commissions. Fully presented in the last trial had the mission mark in it. I took it upon myself to examine this pulley during the submission examination.
So I wasn't just sitting there twiddling his thumbs. And what did you find, Mr. Edgeworth?
Oh. God damn it. The mission mark was in the exact same place it was for the similar presented during the trial.
I see, then there's no room for doubts. This bully was made by Vera Mission.
Unfortunately, she told the court that the person who commissioned these pulleys took care of precautions to remain anonymous. Even so, we can still subpoena her to this court to answer any questions that the defense may have.
I never expected to see Vera again so soon. I've been nervous, to be honest. Very well then, this court will take a 30-minute recess to allow for this. During that time, the defense and prosecution are free to look into whatever matters they desire. Court is adjourned. Oh, end of Act 2? Oh my god! This is getting so exciting. I'm fairly sure Aiden's the killer, but I'm not sure entirely. But oh man, it's getting good.
Oh yes, the plot is thickening, and only getting thicker from there.
I'm just wondering... Huh. I'm just wondering what's gonna go wrong. I'm pretty sure this ended on a fairly bad note, if I remember from the beginning. But I suppose that's for next episode, because holy shit, it's a long one.
Oh yeah, this is a long case.
Yeah, I'm guessing Act 3 is probably just as long. But man, I'm excited. So I guess we'll see you guys next time.
Yeah,
Bye-bye.
I'm getting tired. So.